And I can say, as a military analyst, 30,000 civilians have not died in Gaza. There's just no, it's just not a fact. One, there's no way to know the number. And two, that number accounts for zero Hamas militants. What's the alternative to the war is stop. So just stop the war. That's what, this idea of a fact that you could do this in a different way is not true. And if you think that somebody else would do it in a different way, I can show you historically, if the U.S. military faced this problem of hundreds of our civilians, babies, children taken on our border, like let's say Mexico, rockets emanating from there within a mile from where the war is, all of these variables, we would do it differently, and it would be probably a lot more destructive, and not listening to a lot of the outside rhetoric, because we would have clearly legal, definable goals in the war. I 100% agree with you that there's a one theme to all instability in the Middle East, and it's Iran. All of its proxies. And this is a test of its grand strategy, to be honest. Hamas, Shia, Sunni, doesn't matter. Its proxy groups doing its will is a test of the appeasement that the world has given Iran, or if not financial support that they've given Iran to try to appease it, hasn't worked. And that October 7th not only changed Israel, it not only changed the security framework in the region, but it should have changed the world and how they deal with Iran, and allowing it to continue these proxy wars on a scale that's never been done. I mean, it's just not, it's all of them. Iran is Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, the Shias of Iraq, or the paramilitaries in Iraq. So this is my problem with Hamas, again, trying to compare them to terrorists. Even ISIS didn't want all civilians to die. Yeah, they killed a lot of civilians, but even when they seized Mosul, they increased the amount of power because they were ruling by force, but the water, the power, all the services actually increased during their rule, because if you didn't do it, you died. But where Hamas is, like you said, what I saw on October 7th was like, truly, they released 4,000 Jeffrey Dahmers on Israel, who have no remorse, who enjoy slaughter, who methodically killed. It wasn't incidental. And I wrote an article in Time Magazine about, as a military instructor, of how much precision and planning went into slaughtering civilians. But they also have no respect for their own, if they could even have their own civilian life. And this is, again, a failure to recognize that their rationality isn't just that they want to die as martyr. They want as many of their own citizens to die, which is very unique, actually, in wars, to say that that's our strategy, is to get as many of our people killed versus killing as many of their, even if they dehumanize the Jewish people, which they have, so much so.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of grade do you think that Israel deserves for its fighting of the war in Gaza?
At least an 8 or a 9, just by matched against the challenges. I mean, there's nobody perfect, right? So this is like the most. I also don't agree with the most moral, right? Because I served in the U.S. military. The IDF, of course, is a very moral, law-abiding, ethical force. Their performance in this war warrants 8 or a 9, as in, despite the challenges, in every metric that we talked about, they're getting the job done. They're achieving victory. They're destroying the other military. They're achieving the political goals, which is what war is about. So despite the rhetoric.